Let's get started. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. For those who joined us last week, welcome back. And for those who joined for the first time, well, welcome. And today we're going to talk about the ISO 42001, which is a framework for AI governance. And I'm going to talk about a couple of steps of that framework where any practice can implement in your organization. Okay, so over the last year, AI has been considered moved from something for the future to something that everybody is actually really using right now, and it's not a question now about if AI is being used, or it's more about how it's being used. And today I will share a simple 5-step playbook inspired by the ISO 42001, and will help any organization to govern their AI without slowing innovation. Okay, so let's jump into it. And before we continue, we just also create a Facebook group for anybody that is on healthcare leaders, business owners that want to discuss practical AI governance challenge that they may face. You can scan this QR code and join our Facebook group and community. And you can have like updates and real-world discussion with peers. Like I said, rather if it's healthcare or any other regulated environment or not. But if you're facing AI governance issues, you should definitely join this group. And I will be posting also future events, live events, webinars, and other tricks for you to be safe out there with your AI governance. I'll keep it up a little bit just for everybody to be able to scan it. You also get the recording of this webinar, so you'll have more time to scan it. Okay, so on today's agenda, we're gonna go really, really fast because we have a lot to cover. We're gonna talk about why ISO isn't scary, okay? We're going to talk also about the 5-step playbook, like I said, to identify, risk map, policy, train, and monitor. Real example, I'll show you some real example. We'll also think about talking about AI policies preview, have some couple of tools also that I'll be sharing with you that you can find in our Facebook community. They're already posted there, but also if you need it, ask for it. I'll send it via email so you can use them every day that you need it, okay? And then at the end, I'll also be answering a couple of questions and see what your action and next step will look like. So, reality check. ISO sounds like something for Fortune 500 companies. That's not true at all. ISO 42001 was created to start having some guardrails and some intentional governance, like something that secure you. So ISO, it's a framework that can govern from your physical security, your cyber security, your quality, everything. And you have one that is specifically made for AI since 2023, which is the ISO 42001. You don't require certification. I require certification, but you don't. You just need to know how to use it properly. Okay. And another myth is also you need to pass an audit from an ISO company for you to have your certification framework. It's not true. You just need, again, to implement the framework, and certification, it's optional if you really want to be certified, so you can prove to your clients that you are certified ISO 42001 that you have an AI governance framework that's implemented and certified, well, you can do that too. I can help you with that, but it's not required. Okay. Now, the playbook, it's simple. We start by identifying the AI system in use and classify them by purpose, risk, and impact. So in your organization, you have people that are going to use AI for different type of situation, for different type of jobs. Okay? You need to identify those AI systems that they use and classify them by purpose. It's something that really they need for their job. What is the risk? Okay, people use scribes and like we call scheduling AI tools, things like that. Those AI tools, most of the time, are not secure properly. So you need to know what is the risk of somebody copy paste some information from someone. Okay, then the risk map, that is what assess the risk to people, data, and all the operations. So if you have a risk of having data leaking from your practice, whatever practice it is, if it's a law firm, CPA, if that data gets out, people are going to know about it and you're going to lose your reputation. You can have like serious problem. So the risk map is fundamental for you to know exactly where you can be vulnerable. Then you have policies. Policies, you need to create those policies and guardrails to align to your values and your goals. So those policies will stipulate exactly what to follow, what kind of guardrails will protect your practice, protect your business from hackers or from auditors. Okay? Auditors also require to check your policies. Then you need to train your people. So train your team is on your responsibility. People know, like in healthcare, you need to be HIPAA trained every year for anything that's coming new. The thing is, HIPAA comes every 6 months, renew something, or they add something. And so you training every year, it's just the bare minimum. Now, using AI also requires some training. Using policies, guardrails, procedural documentation, your people need to be trained on them so they keep following the same guardrails, the same policy, and everybody is going to the same way, okay? And protect, again, your business. And then finally, you need to monitor. You need to monitor the performance, the risk, and the compliance. Because, well, rules change all the time, new laws are coming up. Is your AI that you're using is still compliant? Does it involve new risk that you didn't know about it? The performance part is also something that most people don't really think about, but lots of people have tools that they're paying every month to do something, and maybe they don't even use it, or they use it once a year, things like that. So you really need to focus on, is it something that I'm using or my team is using? What are the risks of using that? And is it still compliant every trimester, every 6 months, if you want to review that? But the continuously monitor your performance, risk, and compliance is going to improve your business over time and your organization. All right, step one, identify. So build your AI inventory. So on our Facebook group, you can check this template that I created just for you. You can use it, so you can put the tool names, the version, who's using it, the purpose of it. Like I said, the purpose of why do you need that AI tool to do your job. the data that it touch. Does it touch specific data, very sensitive data or not? What kind of vendor is it? So OpenAI or Microsoft in this case are two different type of AI. Okay? OpenAI, like the name says, is open. So everything that you create in it and that you talk with your AI can have some leak into the system. That's how the system learn new things. He learns with what you tell him. Now, Microsoft is a bit more secure because it's in his own environment. It's not really open for you to use Microsoft 365. You need to pay a license, and that Copilot Microsoft system is in it. But you also need to check with your business agreements. So do you have a business agreement with that AI tool? Did you sign a document saying, okay, we're going to use this tool like you would do if you have a Microsoft 365 license with Copilot? You're going to have to pay, but you also have the terms and conditions and all of that business agreement, okay, signed up. With other tools, you might not have that. So that also can create a risk or not. And then you have the risk level. So you have low risk, medium risk, high risk. You not having a business agreement with your AI tool is not a low risk, but it's not a high risk. But it's a risk for HIPAA compliance, for instance, or other type of compliance that you need to be following, like if you're a lawyer or CPA or insurance, things like that. So each type of business has its own compliance regulation to follow. And that's where you need to think, is that risk is only for the tool being used, or is also affecting any other type of compliance? Okay? Then you can put some notes also to be approved on internal business use only, or approved with governance control and audit logins. We're going to talk about that also. So when you identify all of this, you have the risk map. So the risk map is going to tell you exactly what type of risk and the exposure that you're in and the impact that it's going to have into your business. Okay. Does it touch sensitive data? Does it influence decisions? Because lots of AI tools can guide you to the right answer if you need it. Do you have a business agreement, appropriate contract in place? Could an error or bias harm a patient? And that's very, very high risk if you don't know if that AI answer is gonna actually affect the client, right? And will it be comfortable explaining or use of this tool to a regulator? So somebody that comes and say, okay, why are you using this scribe tool? What do you use it for? Something that you can use for yourself is each tool, whether if it's AI or not, is I'm going to use this and how I can explain it to someone why I'm using this in 60 seconds. Okay. So that risk map is also going to guide you and know exactly where each time of AI tools can be high risk, medium risk, or low risk for your business. But not only on the level of audits, but also for the level of being hacked. Okay, remember that there's different types of security. You have the physical security, you have the software security, and you have what we call that data leak. Okay, so you can have the best anti-spyware, malware, whatever you want in your computer. If I can take your computer and go walk the door with it, so the data comes with me. So that didn't do anything. Also, if you have the best locks in the world, but I can easily get into your network and inside your computer, well, your door and your physical security didn't do anything at all. Now, the data link is something completely different. You can have data links from your physical or your cybersecurity, but 95% of the time, it's between the screen and the chair. It's someone that clicks the wrong link, someone that opened the door digitally for that data to be leaked. Okay. So having a risk map of which tool can have that data leak is very important to protect your business. All right, real world scenario. So we have Monday morning, a staff member overwhelmed with calls or backed up, patients waiting, insurance questions piling up. She opens ChatGPT and write down, can you write a response to a patient asking about their upcoming procedure? Then she pastes patient names, appointment details, and clinical information. What went wrong? So no inventory, no policy, no training, no approved AI tool lists. And this is going to result of having personal information entered into unapproved platform. You have HIPAA exposure, no documentation, and the leadership is unaware. So the doctor doesn't know that that person was pasting information into an AI tool. And it's ChatGPT. So everybody is using ChatGPT. So now imagine their intentions are good, but suddenly there are questions about privacy and retention and compliance. And this is how risk often enters an organization. The policies and documentation and procedural documentation are there not only to guardrail, but also to document any threats, anything that happens. Okay. Because if you have OCR, HHS knocking on your door and do audit, you need to be able to prove that, yes, that situation happened, but you have documented and you have policies in place to counterfight this. Okay. So here in this scenario, nobody wanted to do wrong. They're just trying to get better faster and trying to help the patient. The thing is, it can hurt your business really, really hard. And that's where we come to policies. Established guardrails are very, very important. Approved use. So you have a team, front desk, back, people that are coming, vendors, things like that. They want to use tools to make their job better, their jobs faster. My intake for you is try to write down policies that each time they need something new, some new tool, something new, mostly AI, that needs to be reviewed and be approved. Okay. Never upload patient data into a free AI. Always have a paid subscription. Get business agreement of every AI vendor and log every AI incident, but not only AI incident, any incident, because sometimes you can have internal incident with another tool and it's going to link to the AI because your AI is, well, linked to your emails, for instance. So any kind of incident that may happen, you need to log it, and you need to also can be able to prove it. Okay. So in that way, you'll protect your patients, you reduce the risk, and you demonstrate compliance. And that's where we say build trust with confidence, but it's where your OCR auditor is going to come and say, okay, you actually had an issue, but you managed to solve it and proven that you solved it, and that was logged. There's like proof of it. Okay. So please write down policies. Policies are very, very important to secure you. So now let's take the same employee with a different outcome. She does exactly the same. She pastes information into ChatGPT. The difference is on one side, there is like no inventory, no policies, no training, no approved tools, anything. And on the other side, you have documented inventory, clear policies, staff training, and approved tools with business agreement. Now, if you face a OCR audit, that lady on the green side, well, she has all those binders, and all those binders are very, very important to have updated and continue to improve them. And all of that can be done really simply, really quickly, if you take the time to get this approach. Okay, the playbook makes the difference. The playbook makes the difference on your audits and make the difference also if you get hacked. Okay, 15 years ago, there was a saying that said there is only two type of companies in the world: the one that got hacked and the one that soon be hacked. Now today is there's only two type of companies: the one that got hacked and knows about it, and the one that don't. Okay, so AI governance, AI is the new thing, I know, but any type of governance in your digital world, everybody use computers, phones, tablets, anything that is digital, you need to have governance over it. Now, step 4, training. So policies don't work if nobody knows they exist. So you can write down policies. I can write your procedurals and how-tos and things like that for your business. But if nobody gets the training about it, how to actually follow those steps or get the awareness of it, well, they're not going to be consistent with their behavior. And again, like I said, 95% of the time, the issues is with people inside the organization. That's where you get hacked. That's where you get issues with your audits. Okay, so common mistakes that I see all the time, they create policies, and I used to work for big vendors for Apple, and they would do the same. They would create new policies and just send an email, hey, you need to read that. No training about it. And new hire didn't even know that there were policies. They just came in, oh, your job is to do this. Okay, so I'm going to do this, but they don't know why that policy exists or if there's any policy in it. We have this thing of I would be teaching people, they had to badge each time they would walk in the door, and try to explain that you can be a gentleman and open and leave the door open for a lady, but she needs to badge because we need to know who's entering that section exactly. Okay, that's why there's cameras. That's why you have a badging system. So that's the same thing. If people are not trained with having a consistent behavior of badging, the door to open and on tools like AI or other tools, everything comes from consistent behavior, but you need to train your people. Okay, HIPAA has annual training. You're obligated to have this training every year, but new hire onboarding, approved tool list is very important, incident reporting process, and sign acknowledgement. So this part of the smart organization, okay, having AI training is one thing. I can even create videos of that specific training for that specific tool for your business and for new employees that come in. So that's easier for them to assimilate the tool. But incident reporting process and site acknowledgement, those are very important two things, okay? Site acknowledgement is they got the training, they know how to use it, they know how to use it properly, and they need to sign that they're going to use it in those circumstances, not use it outside work or things like that. Okay, so they need to sign and say, yes, I understand that what I'm doing with this tool can have a repercussion into the business or myself. That's one. Incident reporting process. People, small organization, they don't know about this, but any organization, even if it's like just one person or two, need to have somebody that is responsible to incident reporting. You have 60 days by law to tell the government that you were hacked if you have any kind of sensitive data. This process needs to be done by someone. Most of the time, you think your IT companies, your MSP is going to do this for you. That's not their job. Their job is to secure your network, your computer, things like that, put cameras on, and your encryption of your backup, okay? That's not what they do. Your governance and documentation needs to be on point so you are protected. So all those policies need to be written down and people need to be trained, okay? All right, monitoring. So governance is a program, not a project, and that's very, 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 very important. You need to continuously monitor your risks, your tools, everything that comes into your computer, okay? Measuring and assess, evaluate performance and compliance, like we talked about. Is it performing like I want? Do I use it really? What does it do for me that allows me to do better and improve and adapt? So tools are coming up, and with AI, the tools are coming up like every day. You have new tools that can do this and then can do that. So you need to improve and adapt. So that tool that I've been using is good, but this one is better, but maybe it's not that secure, so I'm going to stick with that one. So you need to evaluate also what type of tools or what type of improvement you want to put into your organization, okay? Report and communicate. So keep the leadership and teams informed. The teams need a tool to do their job better, faster, whatever. The doctor or the lawyer needs a tool to do his job faster, better. But everybody needs to know that that tool exists and who needs to use it, how to use it. Okay? This is very, very crucial to always stay on top of any tools, regarding this is AI or not. Any tools that you use need to be checked, okay? So let's do it like that. So in my time of business, we hear these concerns. We're too small. Okay, small, your size doesn't equal your risk, okay? Actually, smaller businesses are easy to hack because they have weaker defense, okay? 43% of cyber attack target small businesses. 43%. Why? Because it's easy. You have even people that solo practitioner that are gonna put their notes in their AI things in public space, like I don't know, a coffee shop or something. Okay, so very easy to hack. There is no size of what they want to attack. Data is data. Data means money for them. So if you need to be hacked, you're going to be hacked anyway, one way or another. Okay, it's being able to protect yourself the best. Then we have like, we don't use AI. Well, you don't use AI yet, but like we saw last week, there's a 98% plus adaptation to AI. People want to install AI, to implement AI in their business, 98%. The difference is the readiness of that was 13%. So 13% of you are ready to install AI and implement AI for your work, but you're not really ready, okay? So unmanaged AI is something that is very critical. 78% of organizations have shadow AI in their workplace. Shadow AI means that somebody installed the AI tool without the knowledge of management, okay? I want to do this faster, so I installed Scribe, but I didn't say anything to anybody. It's only on my computer. It might be even my own personal email, which is big red flag for API compliance and CCPA, GDPR, any compliance, okay? My IT person handles that. So if you think your liability on AI tools, it's managed by your IT company, your MSPs, you are in big trouble because they're not there for that. Like I said, they're here to manage your system, your security, physical security, cyber security, things like that. Everything that is compliance, like accountability, that's not with them. So 95% of breaches involve human error or governance gap. And that's what I come to is, like I said, it's always between the screen and the chair. The error is going to come there. Somebody's going to click on the wrong link, download the wrong tool, things like that. And that's, if they do that, it's because you don't have policies and procedural documentation and training in place. So they don't know better. They just do what they think it's better. Okay. And then we'll deal with this later. And so that's my favorite, because later means, well, we'll deal with it when I get hacked or I have OCR knocking on my door for an audit and I'm not ready. And now I pay fines from $10,000 to $50,000 a month for each infraction until I solve all of that. And I'm going to run to my IT company and say, you need to help me with that. And they're going to say, well, we can't. Okay. And most importantly, if you get hacked, the average day to identify and contain a breach is 277 days. Okay. So imagine for more than half of the year, you're being hacked and you don't know about it. So all those data is getting pulled out from your company. You lose credibility, you lose clients, and you get fined up to $2 million. You just might want to close shop, okay? And that's what I'm trying to avoid for you, is for your organization to get in trouble. Please, it's never too late, it's never too soon, okay? So what are your next steps? Well, first, you need to continue learning, because like in my world of ITs and AI, things are coming up every day. You buy a computer today, in 6 months it's obsolete. You have new programs, new AI tools, new things that are coming up all the time. So you need to be in constant learning process while you're working. So for you, it's the same. And I would suggest you, well, first join our next webinar next week. We're going to talk about real world AI disasters and how to avoid them. So real cases, real mistakes, real lessons. It's free. Please join us. I'll be happy to have you on our webinar. But try to always learn more about that. Or you can also call our office or book an AI governance snapshot. I can help you with that. We can go to your practice and make an audit, and we'll give you a gap analysis, executive findings, so not your team, your business, okay? And I'll give you a roadmap on how to solve that. You also have, if you're not sure if you need that snapshot, you can visit our website. You have a free assessment. It takes like 10 minutes. You just answer a couple of questions, and we will tell you in which area you might be vulnerable, okay? Do it, because if you think you're compliant, if you think you're secure, I'm telling you right now, you're not, okay? You're not. You need to know that you're compliant. You need to know that you're secure. And if you want to get all the way to have an ISO certification on AI for trusting reasons for your client, or to have government contract, things like that, I can help you also create all those policies, those training, documentation, implementation. This is another package to build the program for you so you're ready to be certified ISO 42001. Okay, like it says on the display, whatever you start somewhere. You need to start today somewhere. Okay, this AI thing is going so fast that I barely have time to keep up with it. So imagine someone that doesn't work in this environment. So we identify the spot of AI risk. I showed you in the risk map how to create policies. You have that tool also on our Facebook community page. You need to train your people and monitor. Okay, keep improving and stay ready.